Then the order was given for all hands to help to refurbish Heorot immediately. Men and women thronging the wine hall, getting it ready. Gold threads shone in the wall hangings, woven scenes that attracted and held the eye's attention. But iron braced, as the inside of it had been. That bright room lay in ruins now. The very doors had been dragged from their hinges. Only the roof remained unscathed by the time the guilt-fouled fiend turned tail in despair of his life. But death is not easily escaped from by anyone. All of us with souls, earth dwellers and children of men, must make our way to a destination already ordained, where the body after the banqueting sleeps on its deathbed. Then the due time arrived for Halfdane's son to proceed to the hall. The king himself would sit down to feast. No group ever gathered in greater numbers or better order around their ring-giver. The benches filled with famous men who fell to with relish. Round upon round of mead was passed. Those powerful kinsmen Hrothgar and Hrothulf were in high spirits in the raftered hall. Inside Heorot there was nothing but friendship. The shielding nation was not yet familiar with feud and betrayal. Then Halfdane's son presented Beowulf with a gold standard as a victory gift, an embroidered banner. Also breastmail and a helmet, and a sword carried high that was both precious object and token of honor. So Beowulf drank his drink at ease. It was hardly a shame to be showered with such gifts in front of the whole troops. There haven't been many moments, I am sure, when men exchanged 4 such treasures at so friendly a sitting. An embossed ridge, a band lapped with wire, arched over the helmet, head protection to keep the keen ground cutting edge from damaging it when danger threatened, and the man was battling behind his shield. Next the king ordered 8 horses with gold bridles to be brought through the yard into the hall. The harness of one included a saddle of sumptuous design, the battle seat where the son of Halfdane rode when he wished to join the sword play. Wherever the killing and carnage were the worst, he would go to the fore, fighting hard. Then the Danish prince, descendant of Ing, handed over both the arms and the horses, urging Beowulf to use them well. And so their leader, the lord and guard of coffer and strongroom with customary grace, bestowed upon Beowulf both sets of gifts. A fair witness can see how well each one behaved. The chieftain went on to reward the others. Each man on the bench who had sailed with Beowulf and risked the voyage received a bounty, some treasured possession. And a compensation, a price in gold, was settled for the Geat Grendel had cruelly killed earlier, as he would have killed more had not mindful God and one man's daring prevented that doom. Past and present God's will prevails, hence understanding is always best, and a prudent mind. Whoever remains for long here in this earthly life will enjoy and endure more than enough. They sang then, and played to please the hero, words and music for their warrior prince, harp tunes and tales of adventure. There were high times on the hall benches, and the king's poet performed his part with the saga of Finn and his sons, unfolding the tale of the fierce attack in Friesland, where Hnaef, king of the Danes, met death. Hildebur had little cause to credit the Jutes. Son and brother, she lost them both on the battlefield. She bereft and blameless, they foredoomed, cut down and spear gored. She, the woman in shock, waylaid by grief. Hawk's daughter, how could she not lament her fate when morning came and the light broke on her murdered dears? And so farewell, delight on earth. War carried away Finn's troop of thanes, all but a few. How then could Finn hold the line or fight on to the end with Hengist? How save the rump of his force from that enemy chief? So a truce was offered as follows. First, separate quarters to be cleared for the Danes, hall and throne to be shared with the Frisians. Then, second, every day of the dole-out of gifts, Finn, son of Fockwald, should honour the Danes, bestow with an even hand to Hengist, and Hengist's men the wrought gold rings, bounty to match the measure he gave, his own Frisians to keep morale in the beer hall high. Both sides then sealed their agreement with oaths to Hengist. Finn swore openly, solemnly, that the battle survivors would be guaranteed honour and status. No infringement by word or deed, no provocation would be permitted. Their own ring-giver, after all, was dead and gone. They were leaderless in forced allegiance to his murderer. So if any Frisian stirred up bad blood with insinuations or taunts about this, the blade of the sword would arbitrate it. A funeral pyre was then prepared, effulgent gold brought out from the hoard. The pride and prince of the Shieldings lay, awaiting the flame. Everywhere there were blood-plastered coats of mail. The pyre was heaped with boar-shaped helmets, forged in gold with the gashed corpses of well-born Danes. Many had fallen. Then Hildebert ordered her own son's body be burnt with snafes, the flesh on his bones to sputter and blaze beside his uncle's. The woman wailed and sang keens. The warrior went up, carcass flame swirled and fumed. They stood round the burial mound and howled as heads melted, crusted gashes spattered and ran bloody matter. The glutton element flamed and consumed the dead of both sides. Their great days were gone. Warriors scattered to homes and forts all over Friesland, fewer now feeling loss of friends. Hengist stayed, lived out that whole resentful, blood-sullen winter with Finn, homesick and helpless. No ring-whorled prow could up then and away on the sea. Wind and water raged with storms, wave and shingle were shackled in ice, until another year appeared in the yard, as it does to this day. The seasons constant, the wonder of light coming over us. Then winter was gone. Earth's lap grew lovely. Longing woke in the cooped-up exile for a voyage home, but more for vengeance, some way of bringing things to a head. His sword arm hankered to greet the Jutes, so he did not balk. Once Hunlafing, placed on his lap, dazzled the duel, the best sword of all, whose edges Jutes knew only too well. Thus blood was spilled, the gallant Finn slain in his home, after Guthlaf and Oslaf back from their voyage made old accusation. The brutal ambush, the fate they had suffered, all blamed on Finn. The wildness in them had to brim over. The hall ran red with blood of enemies. Finn was cut down, the queen brought away, and everything the Shieldings could find inside Finn's walls. The Frisian king's gold coffers and gemstones swept off to the ship. Over sea lanes then, back to Daneland, the warrior troop bore that lady home.
If you enjoyed this exhibit and you want to support the Mutant Museum, please consider donating either on Ko-fi or as a regular Patreon supporter, like all of these amazing people, particularly Zachary Snowden-Smith, Michael Fittori, and Break System BSE. You'll be able to see your own name up here on the very next video for as little as $1 a month. You may also enjoy my Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd content, and my ebooks. There's links to all these in the description, and in the meantime, thanks for being you.